What's going on, y'all, man? It's LA Rich, and we back with another video, man. And look, today we have the one and the only Charlie Kirk back on the channel again with him doing a video titled "I Get Anti-Trumper to publicly say he will vote for Trump." Now, if you obviously y'all have been watching these videos, you know how hard it is to get a lot of these college students to just admit and accept that, or switch sides. Basically, it's very hard. I mean, a lot of them are just straight up in denial. They don't come to on a debate to learn. They come on a debate to basically let out their frustration onto somebody else. You get what I'm saying? So this is very rare if the title is true, but I'm excited to get into this video. And before we do, what I want to say is thank y'all so much for helping me hit 13.1 thousand subscribers. You know, we're up to 13.2 now. I appreciate y'all so much for all the love and support y'all show me every single day. It truly means the most to me. Nonetheless, we gonna go ahead and get into this video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know some more Charlie Kirk videos to watch, and I got y'all with it, man. But hey, enough of the talking. Let's do it.
You support Christian values, as do I. How do you support a man who, in many ways, is the antithesis of those values in Donald Trump?
I thought you were going to say Joe Biden.
What? Well, if it's a, you've supported Trump in the primaries too.
Yeah.
So there was other options at that point.
Well, yeah. So you're asking why do I support a sinner?
Why do you support someone who?
Because you're obviously not a sinner, right?
No, I'm a sinner, but his whole life and his values are all the antithesis of what the Ten Commandments are and things like that.
Okay. So I'm not even sure what to make of that. Let's just look at his presidency. I mean, was he not an excellent president? Do you disagree?
Well, I believe that character matters in our leaders.
I do too. So here's my number one mark of character for a politician. Did you do what you say you were going to do? And Donald Trump did what he said he was going to do.
I'm sorry, do we have a wall across the whole southern border right now?
Well, we built a couple hundred miles of border wall.
But he said he was going to build a full wall.
Right, there were limitations for that. He shut down the government for 60 days over that.
Hold
on a second.
Wait, who is you?
I'm sorry?
You said you shut down the government. Who is you?
Donald Trump shut down the government for 60 days to try to get $4 billion in border wall funding. He put Schumer and Pelosi in his office. He did everything at his disposal.
That is a big thing with presidency, man. If the president can go up there and do what they said they were going to do, I mean, that's just huge now, because a lot of times with presidents, we're being lied to. As citizens, we're being lied to. The things that they're saying, the things that they want us to believe that they're gonna do, it never ends up happening, man. So you gotta always give respect when they follow out with what they said they were gonna do. Follow through with it.
He's facing 2 impeachments and 1 ridiculous special counsel investigation. Southern border crossings went down to a 30-year low under Donald Trump. We had asylum seekers that were rejected back to their country of origin. You can nitpick certain things from the right to say, oh, I could have, would have, and should have. But let's go through the promises. Number 1, Donald Trump gave us and fulfilled the promise 3 excellent Supreme Court justices, so that we had the reversal of Roe versus Wade. Hold on. As a Christian, will you give him credit for that?
I give him credit, but are you saying any other Republican president would have done the same thing?
George W. Bush gave us a liberal Supreme Court justice.
John Roberts?
John Roberts voted against us on critical issue
on
after
critical. Besides Obamacare?
Roe versus Wade.
He was against us on Roe v. Wade?
It was a 5-4 decision, not a, I believe. I could be incorrect.
I thought it was 6-3, but I may be wrong.
You might be right on that. I don't want to speak out of turn. However, he voted against on many of the other issues recently. By the way, Roberts is very liberal. Okay. So, secondly, George H.W. Bush gave us Kennedy, Anthony Kennedy. It might have been Reagan. Either Reagan or Bush gave us Kennedy.
They wouldn't have been elected in 2016 if you had Ted Cruz, if you had Marco Rubio. They would have given us 3 people that match Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Coney Barrett.
Bush gave us liberal tilt justices. And that's number 1. But let me just ask a question. George W. Bush, did he ever speak at the March for Life?
I'm not aware of that.
No, he didn't, because he was a pro-abortion Republican, because his wife was pro-abortion.
Trump can't even sort out his own take on abortion now.
Hold on a sec. You keep on changing the script here. You came here as a question is, how can I, as a Christian, support a sinner? We all agree we're all sinners.
As opposed to other candidates who probably have better character in the primaries, like Ron DeSantis.
What do you mean by character exactly?
Like not having a history of adultery, not having a history of immorality, mocking Mike Pence for praying in the White House.
So you believe that anyone that has wrongfully cheated on their wife should be disqualified from leadership, public office, all that stuff, yes? So your standards are higher than God's when King David became king over Israel, just so we're clear.
When they haven't shown the proper remorse for those actions.
Okay, well, you don't know what remorse he has shown or has not shown. But secondly, I'm not going to get into like the deep thicket here of defending Donald Trump's personal life, because we're in a binary right now. And the binary is very simple. Instead of moralizing against a man who's facing 700 years in federal prison for trying to put the American citizen first, I think we as Christians should get on our hands and knees and thank God that we have a fighter that is willing to actually go to D.C. and fight for us against that very regime. So hold on a second. You say, how can I as a Christian? I look at Samson, I look at David, I look at sinners throughout the Bible that were used for God's purposes. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, but are you saying that sinners are better than people who have less sins? Because if you looked at someone, just for example, like Ron DeSantis, who has, in my opinion, a much better character than Donald Trump, are you saying that he wouldn't have gone to D.C. and fought for the values that you're saying Trump would fight for?
So I didn't support DeSantis. I like DeSantis. But let's talk about character. By all objective measurements, George W. Bush had better character than Trump. Loyally married, never accused of adultery, Christian. He gave us the Iraq War. He gave us the Afghan war.
I mean, you could point to one person.
Hold on, no, hold on. I'm talking about the only other Republican president of the 21st century, not one other person. Want me to point to his father, H.W. Bush?
What about Reagan?
Reagan is not as good of a president as Donald Trump. Reagan gave us no-fault divorce, mass amnesty. Reagan also expanded the national security state. Reagan was a fine president, but nowhere near as an effective of Donald Trump president. So that's the question ahead of us, which is, if you only look at character, which is your version of character, I don't share that version of character. It's, does the politician do what he says he's going to do? And he did what he said he was going to do.
Well, not really.
He did that in abundant terms.
Well, he did some of the things he said he would do.
Let's get to another one. Blessed are the peacemakers. You and I as Christians both believe that, right? How many new wars were started under Donald Trump?
But zero were started under Jimmy Carter also. I mean, we're talking, yeah, you're right. And zero were started under, like, I don't know, William Buchanan or something. I don't know. Like, you can go way back into the presidential register here. I'm not advocating for Jimmy Carter's presidency from hospice, okay? It's a very simple question, which is, in the modern era, from Clinton to Bush to Obama to Trump to Biden.
Like, I feel like people don't realize how important and just huge that is, that a president can come and have zero wars made while they were under president. That right there is amazing and remarkable, and I will say that truthfully. Zero wars, that's amazing, man.
5 presidents, okay? Only one of those 5 did not start a new international, reckless, adventurous war in any theater, and that guy is named Donald Trump. That for me is like a decision. It's like a massive, massive issue, especially when you look at the carnage and the funding. I mean, you don't want war. You're a Christian.
No, I'm not saying everything Trump did was bad.
Fair enough. Okay, but so let me ask you a question. I mean this sincerely. Is there anything he can do to win you over?
I mean, I'll probably end up voting for him just because I don't like the other side. But I would have much rather preferred someone else from the primaries.
Fair enough. I think you're coming after this from a fair perspective, but I would challenge you not to just throw around.
I like RFK, though. I might vote for him.
Okay, well, then you're going to vote for a pro-abortion, pro-choice guy who would put radical left-wingers on the Supreme Court that would never win. But it's fine. You live in Washington, so your vote doesn't matter that much anyway. But it's true. I mean, it's unfortunately a super left-wing state. And just so we're clear, RFK is also an adulterer. I don't know if you've looked into that. So if your criteria is kind of falling apart. So I will just emphasize this, which is, as a Christian, it is tempting to try to impart our disciplined moral walk on every single politician that runs for office. I totally get that. Instead, I take a step back and I say, who has actually done the things to fulfill the policy agenda that I think glorifies God? And that is Donald Trump. It's not even close.
Like not having a history of adultery, not having a history of immorality, mocking Mike Pence for praying in the White House.
So you believe that anyone that has wrongfully cheated on their wife should be disqualified
from... But this is the thing. When he says that, okay, cool. You can get what he's saying with that. But on top of it as well, stuff that comes outside of him being a president has nothing to do with, him actually being a president running this country. Because it's exactly like Charlie said. You can't, like, if he's did something bad, say he stole candy from a store once before or something like this, or minor things, You can't sit here and base him being a president off something like that. You get what I'm saying, man? I don't know. Maybe that was a bad example with the stealing candy, but you know what I mean. Something minor, just looked at in the aspect of, that's just not a good thing, or that's a bad thing to do. You can't have it based off of something like this, man. You know, when it becomes being president, that's not stuff that actually has anything to do with him running this country.
Leadership, public office, all that stuff. Yes. So your standards are higher than God's when King David became king over Israel, just so we're clear.
When they haven't shown the proper remorse for those actions.
Okay, well, you don't know what remorse he has shown or has not shown. But secondly, I'm not going to get into like the deep thicket here of defending Donald Trump's personal life, because we're in a binary right now. And the binary is very simple. Instead of moralizing against a man who's facing 700 years in federal prison.
Didn't I just see this part?
For trying to put the American citizen first.
Okay, I had just seen that part. Okay. But yeah, man, I mean, it's good that guy was actually kind of open with, you know, his thoughts, and he wasn't just completely, I hate Donald Trump and there's nothing you can say to make me feel different. You get what I'm saying? Let's see. No one is free of a sin. Let's see what the comments are saying. No one is free of a sin. If that standard, we would have no president. Exactly. Nobody is free of a sin, man. I mean, he wasn't looked at in the spotlight his whole entire life. You know how hard, it's almost borderline impossible to be just this great, never do no wrong person your whole entire life. You get what I'm saying, man? But America is not voting for a pastor, we're voting for a president. If people stop listening to CNN, they will become smarter. Let's not forget Donald Trump is the only candidate fighting for 1A, religious freedom, prayer, and he has verbally declared Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. That's good. We're voting for president, not a savior. That's true, man. You know, as long as everything is aligning and looking good as far as them being a president, that's all we should worry about, you know. But hey, thank y'all so much for helping me hit 13.1 thousand subscribers. We roll to 13.2 now. I appreciate y'all so much for all the love and support y'all show me every single day. It truly means the most to me. Nonetheless, that's gonna go ahead and close out the video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's LA Rich. I'm getting up out of here, man. All right, y'all.
I just got the race, I boosted up that I'm not real. Shooter ready, go there, ready, blaze, they hit up everyone. Every time I didn't give a shit, I still ain't number one. In my pockets filled with money, bitch, like fucking.